Hello and welcome to Global News Factory. I am your host Vikrant. Qatar and Egypt, they wear the badge, but Washington holds the remote. Sovereignty, but with an asterisk. You can feel it this week. Israel tries to hit Hamas figures on Qatari soil. The US says, not us. Sure, and I am the Taj Mahal. Moves like this don't happen without a wink. That is the game. Israel acts, Washington shrugs, and then we hear the same old line, unbreakable bonds between US and Israel. Marco Rubio arrived in Israel with this script. I'm quoting, "We need to move forward and figure out what comes next." Forward to what? Blowing up the only hotline that still works? Qatar is the mediator. You cannot bomb the broker and then ask for a better deal. That is like smashing your phone and blaming the network. Qatar is proud, Qatar is rich, Qatar hosts a big US base. It pays for that safety net. And then it gets a strike on its soil. Move forward, my foot. If Doha swallows this, every capital in the global south learns a simple rule. With the US, security is a subscription. Your borders are user settings. Now look at the hostage track. Families of Israeli hostages are shouting into the wind. Netanyahu is the one obstacle. Their words, not mine. Every time a deal gets close, boom, a raid, a strike, a stunt. Then the talks die and we go back to speeches. Qatar even told the US that obvious truth, hit Doha and you kill any hope for releases, at least for now. So when someone says, we want the war to end and we want all 48 home, I hear the promise, I don't see the plan. You don't torch the bridge and then ask why the other side won't cross. Trump says he wants an end. Great, show it. Protect the talks, protect the mediators. Draw a clear line against West Bank annexation. If you want leverage with Hamas, show Palestinians you can actually restrain the thing they see daily. Land grabs. Bulldozers don't bring peace, they bring funerals. Let's talk about Egypt now. There are reports that Israel is planning a Qatar-like strike on Egypt too, targeting Hamas leaders. Egypt is not happy about it. It has issued a warning to US. If any such attack happens, we will declare war on Israel. Wow. Makes good for headlines. But we all know Egypt is a vassal state. It can just whine and cry if any Israeli attack happens, nothing more. Qatar and Egypt are paying the price of being called partners while actually being American pawns. The global south is done with that tone. Sovereignty is not a mood. You don't get to chant rules-based order and then treat other people's airspace like a suggestion. Let's talk Bibi. Netanyahu is Zelensky of Israel. The survival show never ends. The plot is simple. Keep the war hot. Keep the TV lights on. Keep moving the goalpost. If the families say he is the roadblock, believe the families. They count days, they count hours, not poll numbers. Here is the blunt logic. You cannot bomb Doha on Monday and ask Doha to host talks on Tuesday. You cannot say we want peace while green-lighting the one guy who keeps killing peace prospects. That is not strength, that is theater. And theater does not free people, deals do, Mr. Dealmaker. So what should Washington do if it is serious? Stop the blank checks. Set the hard guardrails. No annexation, no new land grabs. No punishment raids that wreck talks. If Israel wants US cover, Israel must respect the cover. If Israel wants mediators, it must stop bombing their front yard. basic stuff, common sense, grown-up rules. The Qatar strike idea was so wild, even Israel's own pros tried to stop it. Mossad, for example, kept its name off the official lines. Insiders say the agency rejected an on-ground operation. David Barnea pushed back because a hit in Doha would blow up the quiet hotline he built with the Qataris. The army was not keen either. IDF Chief Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir opposed the timing. Translation: the spy master and the top general both hit the brakes. But Netanyahu, in all his wisdom, vetoed every objection and went ahead with the attack. Please spare us that line, "This won't affect US-Israel ties." Watch this first.
אפשר קצת? סליחה חבר'ה, לא... מאבטח, אפשר? אנחנו לא רואים. מנצור, אתה לא יכול לעמוד שם.
See, that is the problem. If nothing ever affects the ties, and nothing ever changes the behavior, that message tells every ally in the region, your dignity is negotiable. Our special friend is not. When people ask why BRICS keeps gaining friends, simple, because BRICS says deals, not sermons, because India buys on its terms, because the Gulf hedges on its terms, because Russia sells on its terms. Respect is cheaper than bombs. And Western capitals forget that. Here is the punchline you would not hear on cable news. If an ally can strike your soil and your patron shrugs, you don't have sovereignty, you have supervision, and supervision cannot deliver peace. It delivers silence for a day and rage for a decade. So yes, make it simple. Protect Doha, protect Cairo, freeze annexation, trade prisoners for poses, turn poses into talks, turn talks into terms. No fireworks, no hero shots, just results. If someone tells you that is naive, ask them how the smart plan is working. Tens of thousands dead already, hostages still underground, a region on edge, mediators under fire. Tell me again which plan is childish. Netanyahu says he may hit Qatar again if Doha would not expel Hamas leaders. It is madness dressed up as policy. It is also the fastest way to kill the last chance for an exit. You don't end a war by humiliating the referees. You end it by giving them room to do the job. If Washington wants a real endgame, it must choose borders or buddies on autopilot. Because right now, America is losing both the friends and the moral ground. And the families who wait for their loved ones, they don't need slogans, they need adults in the room. Moving on, NATO's borders are sizzling. Sirens in Poland, sirens in Romania, Zapad rolling in Belarus like a cold drumbeat. And now the Arctic speaks, loud, clear, no subtitles needed. Russia just lit up the Barents Sea with a hypersonic punch. A Northern Fleet frigate launched a Zircon straight at a sea target. Zircon is speed with teeth up to 1,000 kilometers, around Mach 9. 9 times the speed of sound is not a number, it is a warning shot to every command room with a latte and a spreadsheet.
Учебная тревога, комплекс ракетного оружия к бою, стрельба по морской цели, гипер...
At that speed, your reaction window is not a window, it is a peephole. Blink and you are reading the after action report. Now look at the map. Kola Peninsula, the Northern Fleet's fortress, submarines that matter, ice that listens only to strength. The Barents is not a moat, it is a runway. When a frigate fires there, it is Russia saying, "We are home, we are ready, we are fast." NATO calls it posturing, Russia calls it Tuesday. Now zoom out. Poland and Romania keep hearing the buzz at the fence. Drones cross, fighters scramble, airports pause. No damage, they say. The message lands. Border comfort is over. Europe wanted a front row seat without joining the play. Sorry, the stage has no railings anymore. Back to Zircon. Western think tanks love to say hypersonic gap with a nervous smile. Here is the honest line. PowerPoint is slow, missiles are not. Hypersonic means your layer defenses, those nice circles on a NATO PowerPoint, they turn into Swiss cheese at speed. Interception goes from difficult to don't count on it. And in the Barents, reaction time is even shorter. Cold water, short range, long reach. Pick your poison. And then there is the whisper that makes hawks choke on their coffee. Burevestnik, a nuclear-powered cruise missile, not a big reactor, a small one in the engine. That means time, days in the sky, low and slow if needed. Terrain hugging, route changing, circle the globe at low altitude, avoid defenses and hit where planners don't sleep. Look at Novaya Zemlya, busy skies, busy cranes, containers, temporary housing, heavy lift aircraft, helicopters, cargo ships. Summer in the high north is not for selfies, it is for pouring foundations. Pankovo test range wakes up, nearby airbase hums. So what does all this mean if you are in Brussels squinting at screens? It means the chessboard has grown teeth. The old plan was simple: park missile shields, expand east, and call it security. The new reality is simpler. Shields made for yesterday don't stop tomorrow. Hypersonics stress your timelines. Nuclear-powered cruise missiles stress your maps. Drones stress your borders, and together they stress your politics, and politics breaks first. Watch the pattern. Russia does not just sprint, it paces. Calm pressure on the borders, drills with allies who don't blink, hypersonic tests in the north where NATO likes to pretend it is still on home turf. Every move says the same thing: we are patient, we are capable. Choose your tone and moves wisely. Moving on. This is sick, plain and simple. A website in Ukraine is now blacklisting Russian kids, actual children, as enemies. A 3-year-old is accused of violation of the state border and encroachment on sovereignty. Come on! It is toddler. Encroachment on sovereignty? Who writes that stuff? Cartoon villains? The website is Mirotvorets, the so-called peacemaker. It has been around since 2014 and acts like an online court with no judge, no law, and mercy. It posts names, faces, and addresses of people it calls threats. Journalists, politicians, activists, and yes, some of those people were later killed or died in very shady ways. That is why many call it a kill list. When your platform keeps marking people and those people keep ending up in obituaries, you don't get to hide behind cute branding. Peacemaker. Please. Peacemaker with a doxing hobby? Now they have moved to children. 5-year-old, 9, 10, 12, 16 and a baby of 3. The charges are a joke. The harm is not. You put a child's name and face on a public blacklist in a time of war, and you invite every psycho with a grudge to go hunting. You also put a target on the parents, the school, the neighborhood. This is not security, this is vandalism with a keyboard. Let's be clear about one thing. Children are off limits. That is not a Russian line, not a Kiev line, that is the human line. Cross it and you don't just lose the argument, you lose your soul. We are told the site is independent, sure, and I am a space shuttle. This agency, these guys, they swim in the same pool as the security agencies. It uses the state's language, it echoes the state's enemies list. When the state needs a smear, the site provides with the stage. And when the site needs protection, the state looks away. And where is the West? Nowhere. No outrage. No sanctions. No primetime tears. If a pro-Russian site had posted Ukraine kids as targets, US liberal media would hold a week-long telethon. Brussels would invent 3 new task forces before lunch. But this is Kiev's side, so the silence is golden. Our rules are rules, your rules are suggestions. That is the Western playbook in one line. And please drop the excuse that this is information warfare. No, it is cowardice. Adults who cannot win the moral high ground, so they aim lower at kids. If you need a toddler on your enemy list to feel strong, you are not strong, you are lost. Where are the child rights groups? The big ones with glossy reports and gift shop mugs. Where is the rules-based order that loves to lecture the global south on ethics? The silence tells you everything. When the victim is the wrong nationality, the rulebook takes a nap. For Russia and the global south, the message writes itself. These are the good guys you keep telling us. The ones who put toddlers on hit sites. Children are off limits. Period. And that is all for now. Thank you very much for being with me. You're watching GNF.